It's the Score North Twin Show. Baseball!
Score North Twin Show. We got Trevor Plouffe here with us every Tuesday on the Score North Twin Show podcast and YouTube channel. Hit the like button, subscribe button. We've been live at the Minnesota State Fair for the last couple of shows. We had to squeeze in an episode, of course, with our guy, Coach Trev here. Trev, let's just jump right into this because we've kind of exhausted a lot of this stuff over the last two shows. And I did some digging and reporting on Thursday, kind of talking about players being uncomfortable at the plate. It comes out on Saturday that Royce Lewis is basically admitting that on the record that he's uncomfortable at the plate. I think there's two sides people are maybe picking on this. It's one, Royce, why are you admitting like you're protecting stats when you're having a bad year, and why are you just admitting that on the record? But I think the bigger question I have, and I'll even say it for Mackie and Judd and myself, why is it that you have a player that's basically going either on or off the record talking about how uncomfortable he is at the plate, and is that actually the bigger problem than it is just a player admitting to a reporter that I don't really trust people in this organization?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, for Royce, obviously the struggles are well documented. So sometimes I think like guys are just trying to find like some way to vent a little bit. And look, there needs to be someone that he can go to at the clubhouse or in the clubhouse, or like, I don't know. It seems to me, and, you know, I've been around the clubhouse a little bit now, that there needs to be, I don't know, man. I go back and forth on this one because I don't want to bury Royce here, but I feel like a lot of it has to do with his struggles and him trying to talk his way through it. But there are times you're going to feel uncomfortable at the plate in the big leagues, and, you know, you have to have a rapport with your hitting coach to get through it, or you have to have a rapport with somebody. You can have your own hitting coach. Guys do that too. But I think when you have a deadline like they did and basically just admit that we're kind of just like foregoing the season, like kind of all rules are out the window, it almost feels like. And so you say things that maybe you typically wouldn't say, you know, with I'm not going to call it a full 26-man roster because they have a full 26-man roster, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like a conventional season, you probably don't say stuff like that. But now I feel like it's like it could be like a free for all. Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that have happened in the last 2 months where if you're a player, I mean, Royce is a perfect example, former number 1 overall pick. He's a little lost in his career right now. Yeah, actually, it's funny because his numbers dating back to the beginning of June are not that. He's got like an 800 OPS almost since the beginning of June, but he feels uncomfortable and he's voicing his frustrations. But if I were in that clubhouse and I'm looking at, all right, I'm under team control for like another half decade, and I'm trying to make this work, but I don't know what the ownership vision is. Obviously, whatever's happening culturally in the clubhouse is off over the past 12 plus months, just based on just kind of the vibes and the wins and losses. And so it feels like it's spilling over into the public now through reports. And so if I'm a player, and obviously if I'm just an idiot on a microphone, I'm wondering, from the top all the way down, are the right leaders in place? Like, how did we get here from winning a playoff series 2 years ago to now being one of the worst teams in baseball record-wise? There's just a lot of questions I would want answers to, in addition to trying to figure out how to hit major league pitching that's adjusting to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point, that when you're there, you have a finite time in the big leagues, and if your organization has signaled like, hey, like, you know, we're kind of cutting this season down. I mean, you could say, hey, we did the right thing. We traded some relievers. We're going to go into 2026 and we're going to compete. Like, you can say that, but like, if you're a player there, you're like, what? I don't know if that's true. Like, that doesn't really seem like it's going to happen. Are we going to spend money in the off season? So you do open yourself up to a lot of those questions. I mean, you don't want to waste your big league career playing for a team that's, you know, we just talked about third in the draft lottery percentage. Like, that's not what you want to do. I did it a ton. It sucks. It really does.
Are we really? We're third right now, huh?
Third, yes. Yeah, we could have a number one overall pick.
There's a realistic shot.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
they
what's the percentage chance to win the lottery? Is it even percentages, or is it like the Rockies get the best percentage
No, the
chance?
Rockies are out. Rockies, Nationals, and
White Sox still out.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's White Sox, Nationals, Rockies. They are down to 8, 9, 10 because you can't be in the top 2 years in a row.
right.
Okay.
So
So there's a real shot here.
Yeah, there's a legit shot.
Yep,
Let's get it, dude.
that's fantastic.
I'm gonna be in the clubhouse next week. I'm meeting the team in Kansas City. I'm very curious to see the vibes around that. And think about this: you're talking about like a Royce feeling like he's uncomfortable or whatever the words that he used, but this is a brand new hitting staff, and they show up thinking we got these players, we got this team, and then all of a sudden they don't have those same players, that same team, or the same goals as a team. So it can become a lot of finger pointing. And for Royce, I know you mentioned 800 OPS since June. I mean, he's looking at his numbers right now. He's got 288 OPS, 288 OBP, 655 OPS. Like it's not a good look. And he knows that he's going into arbitration and these numbers are not going to help him. And he's an interesting candidate, or he's an interesting talking point because he's had like great success and like a ton of people like lifting him up. This is the savior of the Twins. Like he had that for a while, and then it's all been taken away from him, whether by his own actions, by injuries, by the front office. So he's in a weird spot. Like he's in a very unique, difficult spot to be in.
May I suggest that it feels very much in watching the game again last night, where it's very clear that little things are setting off bigger things, that beyond Royce, this is just going toxic. And quite frankly, I don't blame the players because, Trev, you've talked about this. I mean, at the deadline, they didn't just subtract, they nuked it. And if they had a clear vision that they could give to Royce, Joe Ryan, and say, okay, this is exactly what we're doing. But as far as we know, they don't. So, like, the whole thing last night was weird. Did you guys catch the pitch clock violation with where Jeffers was going to go take a timeout and to go to the mound to talk to Joe, and then the umpire's like, no, you're too late. It's a pitch clock violation. And then there was sort of they caught it in the dugout, a weird exchange between Baldelli and Jeffers, and Joe just looks totally checked out, like F this whole thing.
Yeah,
I think we're going down a path of, yes, Royce is part of this, but Plouffe, I think we're going down a path of toxic. Like, it feels like players are just like, you have no idea what you're doing. If you're good, you probably don't want to be here. Like this, and I don't know that anyone can stop it too, because I don't know that Rocco is the guy to stop it. It feels like a snowball. Yeah,
it becomes an individual ball. Like they're not playing for a team right now. There's nothing. What's there to play for? They're playing to well, I guess it depends person by person, but a lot of those guys are playing to establish themselves at the big league level. So they're trying to, again, like individual stats really matter to them. And for Joe Ryan, I mean, I can't imagine what Joe's thinking right now. He's one of the best right-handed pitchers in the game. I know he got, a little bit blown up last night, a couple homers, but still the stats are great. Like people realize his value and he's feeling stuck. And he's feeling like it doesn't matter what I do. I'm kind of just wasting my time here, wasting my time to get to free agency. And then I can go and choose an organization that, really wants to win. I feel like you get to these points, and I saw it too with like on the bad teams that I was on, the players that were really good, like it's extra frustrating to them because they understand that they're just kind of like wasting this talent or these years, because you're not going to be good for 10 years. You're going to be good for like 5 years, maybe, like if you're lucky, so like you understand that, that time is of the essence. And it does at this point of the season, especially after you have a sell-off like that and where they're at in the standings, you're looking and saying, man, we got 5 more weeks of this. And okay, like where are my numbers at? Where do I want to get at? And you start to set a bunch of individual goals that have nothing to do with the team, nothing to do with getting victories. And it becomes, toxic's a fine word to use.
Yeah. Can I just throw this out too about Royce? And I don't know if he thinks about he's clearly thinking about arbitration and he's trying to make money. This is your one shot in your life to make some life-changing money, and he's a former number one overall pick. We saw what he looks like at his best 2 years ago. He can carry a team. He's got the capability of being one of the best right-handed hitters in the entire game. And if you now zoom out to the last 2 years, he's emerging into his prime, like 25, 20, just turned 26. This is the time when you're supposed to be just moving into like 6 incredible years, like you kind of mentioned. And it just feels like a waste right now. And I don't even know what the pie chart of blame is. I mean, some of it's on Royce because, this is your career and your livelihood, and it is on you to kind of figure it out. But some of it's on the Twins because there's been a pattern of really good, talented young hitters that show you something. And then, like, dude, Jose Miranda is one of the worst hitters in AAA right now. Why? He's a second-round pick who was awesome as a rookie a few years ago. So there's a lot to untangle here, but the big picture of it all leads to you've got this former number one overall pick who showed you some special stuff 2 years ago as a 24-year-old. And he's going to be like 27 years old next summer already. And we've just kind of wasted through injuries and the productivity plateau here. We've just kind of wasted 2 or 3 years of this dude's career, Trev.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you could point at. I mean, you can point organizationally, and you're talking about, probably, a decade's worth of, like guys showing some potential, never really fulfilling it. I think for Royce in particular, he probably needs to make a change in the offseason. I know that he says he hits with Kemp and Torrey, but I think he needs to go more in depth than that. Like, there are times where you just have to completely overhaul what you're doing in the offseason, whether that is a strength and conditioning program. I think he needs to go to a swing coach and like really dial his mechanics in, because I do think they change throughout the year and you want to be as consistent as possible. And I think if he wants to really maximize who he is with these injuries now, I don't think he's as quick as he used to be to the ball, and like I don't think his body works the same as it used to, and that's just what happens when you have some major injuries. So I think he needs to go find somebody that can really help him dial it in, and I think he'd feel a lot better if he had someone that he could talk to throughout the year, and then maybe bring it into Bork Schulte and Trev and do all those things during the year as well. But I think that he needs to make a change in the offseason and find somebody that can kind of explain to him, you got these couple of years left. Like, let's go do everything you can. What is his service time at the end of this year? He'll have 3 and change. So he's like a Super 2 guy, right? So
he's ARB, I think ARB 2. Is he ARB 2 next year? So he has 3 years left of team control.
He's got a lot of time there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got to change something. I do. And I suggest that to a lot of players. Like, you can find a good coach in the offseason. Like, it's not a bad thing to go off and veer from your hitting coaches. And I think they understand that as well. And they actually welcome that, as long as you have open lines of communication and kind of what you're doing so they can help throughout the year. They love to get some of the work taken off their plate, and help throughout the offseason. Because what can they, if you think about a hitting coach, what can you do during the offseason? You can call guys, fly around to 13, 15 dudes and work with them. You can't do that. So that's what I would suggest. I don't know where I would send them. I don't really have somebody in mind necessarily. Like, guys go to Driveline. They have I think there's mixed success there for guys, but finding somebody that can kind of help them throughout this offseason, just kind of reset and have some cues for the season. Because I think he really is. He says, I'm a feel guy. Like, great. Feels good. Don't ever lose that, but you need some cues that you can go back to so you can get rid of these prolonged slumps and have a consistent year again.
Trev, when you were there early with the Twins, so you debuted in 2010, and then you were pretty much a regular 2011-12 timeline. What was it like when, Morneau gets traded, I believe in the summer of 2013 or so, Willingham gets moved to the Royals. They start to maybe usher in, you and Dozier, and start to transition with Mauer still obviously there. In the clubhouse, what was that, I guess, transition where you're seeing Willingham and Morneau now moving on? There's more playing time going to maybe yourself and Dozier and others. I guess, did you ever feel a time in that 2013-14 range, maybe you're like, you know what, maybe I am one of the leaders of this team. Or I guess like what is it like when you first come up and you're just trying to get your feet wet, and now you have young guys, maybe like Royce or even Brooks Lee or hell Keyshaw, where it's like they're probably looking around saying, man, are we the cornerstones now of this team? How do we go about maybe even trying to lead this team?
It's really hard because it's like imposter syndrome. I felt that for sure. Paul Malder calls me into the office and says, "Hey, I want you to be like, I'm going to have like 4 or 5 guys. It's not a leadership committee, but you guys are the guys I'm going to lean on to make sure the clubhouse is right and tell me if something isn't right. And we really need you to lock in." And yeah, like I don't know if I had earned it at that point. Like in 2014, I had a nice year, made some adjustments, worked hard, got better defensively, but I'm looking like, where is a Willingham? Where is a Morneau? Like Maurer was great, but not, kind of did his own thing. And that's why I think when Torrey came back in 2015, it helped our team so much. We got off to a great start. We were like in the race, and that was, one of my better years as a Twin as far as record wise, because it's not, you can't just like, hey, you're a leader. Like it doesn't really work that way. Even I had been called a leader my entire minor league career. Like, hey, this guy, people listen to him and whatever, like I wasn't trying to do anything. But when Molly came and kind of said, me, Doge, Suzuki, a couple other, guys as well. I don't know if I was ready for it, to be honest with you. And I did my best at it. But yeah, you can't say like Luke Keyshaw can't be your leader. Brooks Lee can't be your leader. Royce Lewis can't be your leader.
Right.
Like, they just haven't, no offense to those guys, they just haven't done enough. Like a leader needs to be a guy that's been through the fires, been in the playoffs and had success and had ups and downs and came out of it and has, for lack of a better term, has dirt on his spikes, has been around. Like you have to have those guys. I stress it so much because I've lived it and taught to anybody. You guys know too. You guys are in the clubhouse. Like teams that are void of leaders, like we get stuff like what's going on with the Twins kind of right now.
Yeah, it like bubbles over and spills into the public, and that is the sign of just either a bad or an open-ended culture. Judd, go ahead.
You might say that this is where like some of the analytical era has what they've gotten wrong is you can't platoon leadership. You can't bring it. Okay, you might with the numbers. Yeah, if we get these 2 guys, he'll equal this guy, and they're going to make less money. They're going to make league minimum. Cool. Like they don't know how to lead a team, and you have to have guys like that. Rocco's not a guy that's going to be in the clubhouse and doing that. And those these coaches on the Twins, they stay away from all of that. Like they're doing their job. They got a lot of shit on their plate every single day. They got to prepare. They're doing so much, but that is not their job, and they don't want it to be their job. So I just, to me, it's huge. I'm thinking like on that team, like I don't think Jeffers wants to be like, maybe he wants to be a leader, but I don't know if he's there yet.
And that's where in 2019, Nelson Cruz was so huge because he was the quintessential team captain. And he did, I personally think he did so much of the work that Rocco didn't have to do. So it made Baldelli's life easier. And Nelson Cruz, like, as much as we talked about what Correa brought or didn't bring, I don't think I've seen a guy lead like Cruz led. Like, he had control of everything and everyone admired him. But I will say this, I think this is more difficult than that because you guys, I think we're talking about also, especially with your top players, a lack of trust now. Just a lack of trust of, it's my opinion that they don't think that the people, and I'm not talking just Baldelli, I'm talking above him, that they don't know what they're doing, that you've got an ownership group that supposedly was going to sell, but now they don't. And by the way, they announced that 2 weeks after they sell off my team. So if I'm a player, and Plouffe, correct me if you think I'm wrong. You've been here for this, but if I'm a player, what's my level of trust that you're going to do the right thing now? How can I trust that you're not going to turn around if we're, the same thing a year from now and we find that guy who comes in and leads? Well, I think you're probably going to trade him. Like if I'm Royce or I'm Joe, quite frankly, guys, I think I want out. And I do wonder if Royce is starting to pollute the air on purpose because he knows he's got so much control left. And he also knows that this staff is it feels like it's very touchy-feely. And if you offend them enough, they just might trade your ass. So I think this goes way beyond player problems. I think that there's a problem with trust going way upstairs. And I don't know if I'm a good player. I want to be part of this. I hate to say it, but that's how I feel.
I don't think Royce is vindictive like that. I don't think he's like trying to get his way out. I think he is a lot of times just says what's on his mind, and I think he means very well. Like, so I don't think he's like that. I think he's going through it at the big league level, and he's still well, how old is he?
26.
Yeah.
About a month ago. Yeah.
So his, like he's still like a young kid trying to figure it out at the big league level. Your point about if you're good, do you want to be there? Yeah, I mean, how could you be bought into the organization right now? And the good teams have everybody bought in on an organizational level. You don't have that right now. So you're going to have, like I mentioned before, there's a bunch of guys just jockeying to stay in the big leagues. They're going to find their own mission. Like, that's fine. Like, they're going to work hard because they're just trying to stay a big leaguer. But the guys that are established, you're right. Like, if they have years of control, it's like, what are we doing here? And when you have the guys, your leaders, your best players thinking that way, yeah, it can leak into everything else that you do, and you're just not going to have a cohesive unit. It's just impossible to do it because what in any facet right now, how could you say the Twins have a direction or are working as a unit? Like, there's just none. There's no semblance of that anywhere. So how could you expect your clubhouse and your team to be operating that way when, like, organizationally you're just not? This has been, I don't know, you guys have covered the Twins a lot longer. Is this one of the like strangest, worst years of covering the Twins for you guys? I mean, there was just what happened? That's like, I keep thinking that this year, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's you can explain away, like 2011, you were part of that. That was just a debacle, right? That was 10 years of division titles and going to the playoffs, new ballpark. Well, what the hell happened? I don't know. 15 guys that were good players went on the injured list for different stretches. Easy to explain. And then you had to call up players that weren't ready to put in spots. And okay, then and then there was I think the end of the Terry Ryan second regime where it was 100 losses and kind of a disaster. I guess you could explain that away by like, yeah, it kind of felt like just like the end of an old school front office era, and they had fallen behind the times, and they were not analytically minded at all. And this one is
you nailed it right there. By the way, you nailed it.
Yeah. It's funny. I used to, Terry and I have a great relationship to this day, but we would spar a lot when I covered the team, and I as a beat writer, and then I would also host like the weekly Terry Ryan show. And I remember poking him about that on the radio one time, like, hey, you guys, where do you guys feel like you're at in terms of analytics? And he goes, listen, Phil, we have 26 guys in our analytics department. Did you know that? And I was like, oh, I thought it was just Jack. And I love Jack, but I thought it was like Jack. Yeah. He goes, no, it's called the scouts that we employ across the region. They also understand statistics. And I was like, all right, Terry, love you, Terry. But like that explained the end of that era, right? They're just behind. This feels like really like in the core, ownership to front office to field staff, just multi-level problem across the board here. And this is how it's manifesting. I don't know how you untangle it without maybe changing some pieces and some people here and there, quite frankly.
I feel there's a lot of finger pointing and like, whose fault is it? How did we get here? I don't think anybody really has the answer because it has been a bunch of different, like, it's like death through paper cuts. I feel like it just, and then somebody nicked an artery during the trade deadline and we bled out. Like, it's right. Like, it's,
that's great. Yes.
I still shake my head when I think about what's going on now on August 26th. Besides like me having to keep up with a team to call the games, like I'd have no interest right now. Which sucks. Mm-hmm. We have the most playoff teams ever. Like, we're supposed to have all these teams in the race, and we're one of the teams that is just not in it. I don't know, man. It's pretty shocking. But I think that everybody in that organization has got to take a look in the mirror in the offseason. And I don't know who's like, is it Falvey that's got to rally the troops and say, guys, like, we got to get back and like we all got to be rowing in the same direction. Mm-hmm. It feels like nobody's rowing in the same direction right now. Like, somebody has to take the reins and say, this is the plan. And then somebody's got to go out in front of the media and tell the fans, this is the plan.
This is who we are.
You
this
can't,
is our, yeah.
Yeah, you can't keep people in the dark because nobody will care. Like, if we don't know what's going on, then all right, well, we got other shit. There's how many things are vying for our attention in today's world? Like, you need to know a plan, so at least you can feel invested in it. I feel like now we cover the team and we're like, what? I don't know what's going on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think the players know?
No.
See, that's the problem. Like if you can't tell your players what the plan is, like if you trade 10 guys, you better damn well go in and say, okay, here's what we're doing. But I feel like nobody knows the plan. It feels, in my time covering the Twins, this feels the most, because the team's been bad before, this feels the most chaotic. Like, this feels like chaos. Like, no one's in control. Everyone now is trying to stay afloat, but they can't, including Falvey. So, like, that's my thing, is this just feels like chaos. And I feel like it's starting to seep in big time, like, into conversations that they catch on camera in the dugout. Like, this is just chaos, and chaos causes frustration. And I don't blame anyone for being frustrated. It's, if we could just say, you know what, they just suck. Like, they were just a bad team. But when you have no idea who's going to, own the team, pay off the debt, are they going to then sell the team? Falvey is trading, 10 guys. He's in charge of everything. That's where I feel like the organization, unfortunately, is drowning.
Another thing I just thought of, which is kind of hilarious, not hilarious, but okay. So I guarantee what they've told the players, and I haven't been with the team since the deadline. I don't think so. No, I haven't. I guarantee they're saying, hey, this is opportunity for you all. I said that to a couple of players. Like, hey, this is your opportunity. Like, I know it sucks, but this is a form of opportunity. Go out and grab it. And then you have to think about, okay, well, where are like your top prospects in the Minnesota Twins organization are largely at the upper level minor leagues, right? Jenkins just got to AAA. Culpepper's making his way up. So now it's like, okay, well, those guys are chomping at the bit. I don't really have job security at the big league level. There's just kind of, we're talking about an ownership that may or may not sell. We do have Rocco he got an extension for 1 year, like an option picked up. So he's a, what do they call that? A lame duck?
He'll be, lame duck manager.
Falvey and like the rest of the front office are like, well, if the team sells him, I still here, maybe for 1 year. Like, there's this much job security going around. And I think everybody feels that. Mm-hmm. Every single person in the organization is like, oh shit, like I got somebody breathing down my neck. Like, the next regime's coming in, the prospects are coming up. I don't really, like, nobody has a firm grasp on or feels comfortable. And you could say maybe that's a good thing. Nobody should feel comfortable right now. But if you got a bunch of your whole organization, nobody feels comfortable, that's not ideal at all. Like, you need some structure in place. And I just feel like it's not even the TV deal. We got stuff going on there.
Hey, ESPN Plus, Trevor Plouffe here on ESPN Plus.
I don't know. I might get fired. Who knows? I don't really feel. I don't have a deal next year. I don't have job security either. So it's like,
hey, listen, we're gonna confirm right now. You have job security on the Score North Twin Show. So you got John Boy, you got the Score North Twin Show. Okay,
that's a great show.
Hey, by the way, Padres coming to town. Twins.com/tickets too. Twins.com/tickets and the Element Hotel. So if you're looking for a place to stay, whether it's for any game, Twins game, Vikings game, or just a staycation, you can go to Element Hotel. ScoreNorth.com/Element. It's tucked away in the North Loop. It is just down the street from Target Field and from all the great happenings there in the North Loop. ScoreNorth.com/Element. And then for your banking needs, for when we're trying to figure out who the heck is the next Nelson Cruz or anything with financing, with checking, savings, who should they contact, Phil?
Yeah, it's North American Banking Company. And also, real quick, on the twins.com/tickets, I said this to these guys yesterday. I still, like, despite all the chaos in the organization, I want to watch Brooks Lee try to figure this out. Royce, there's still, like, really fun players to watch try to figure out this Rubik's Cube. And Royce is even uncomfortable. Is hitting a grand slam a few days ago. So I will echo twins.com/tickets. North American Banking Company, too. 6 locations across the Twin Cities. Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, 50th in France. So whether you are headed to arbitration and looking for a bigger score and a better checking and savings account experience, or maybe you're planning to buy a new home, tackle a renovation, or setting up a new business, North American Banking Company specializes in personal relationships and cutting-edge online tools to emphasize the safety and security of your account. So if you want a Minnesota-based and better banking experience, go to nabankco.com/Mackey to learn more. That's nabankco.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Baseball.
All right, Trev. You got Walker Jenkins. He's promoted, so he's in AAA. Kalen Culpepper probably also not too far away as well. We saw Mick Abel, Taj Bradley. They got roughed up pretty good again over the weekend on the mound. But I just saw this too from ESPN, and I think MLB echoes a similar ranking. Slapdick prospects. Twins prospect rankings, number 2 on MLB and number 5 on ESPN.
Hang the banner. Hang it now. Let's go.
Now, do we trust them to develop them? I think that's the next. That's the next.
They're going to be great through AAA.
Oh.
And they're going to have like one good 3-month stretch and then toil away for the next 5 years. It'd be great.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I got to see it. I got to see everything. That's a big league level. I think Mick Abel can be really good. He's got good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that. That's fine. I was thinking about the rotation next year. Like he's clearly going to be in it, right? So you got Joe Ryan, you got Pablo and Joe. We think. Let's hope they're still here. And then Bailey. And then like I guess there's a lot of starting pitching.
Yeah, ton of it.
Like a lot of uncertain.
Fire the song. Fire the song.
Like
We got arms.
That's the new marketing slogan next year. I guess there's a lot of starting pitching? Question mark?
Can they throw
That'd be
strikes?
best,
We don't know.
Oh man, Mick and Taj. So now that I'm thinking about it, holy crap, are they going to trade Pablo and Joe?
I
Too
think
much
one of them.
pitching,
Well-
dude. Too much pitching.
Too
Well-
much pitching. We got to get rid of the good players.
Trade Pablo for a new hitting coach, and he can help Royce Lewis. Be
Oh,
great.
David Popkins is going great guns in Toronto now. We fired him, and now he's Teddy Ballgame as far as a hitting coach.
I follow him on Instagram, and he just posts like beautiful swing after beautiful swing after beautiful swing. I'm like, damn, bro, like you're rubbing it in.
By the way, how about Cal Raleigh hitting his 50th bomb last night? The only catcher in Major League history. He's right-handed too, man. He's gonna hit 60 home runs.
He's real deal. I mean, that's the whole discussion. That's one of the biggest discussions in baseball now. Is it Aaron Judge or is it Cal Raleigh for MVP? And Aaron Judge. I mean, look, if you haven't looked at his stats, it's 440 OBP. He's like it's like 1.1 OPS, over 200 OPS plus. Like he is having a crazy year. But Cal's got him in homers. He's got him in runs driven in. He's a switch hitting catcher. His team is, like he's kind of like lifting his team up. They're both in the same. I think they're both in the wild card right now. So it's an interesting discussion. I still think. I don't know. Judge is having the better offensive year still, but I think voters might have Judge fatigue. Like he set the bar so
That's the
high.
thing.
So Cal,
People love to look for like this could be the one chance for Cal Raleigh to win an MVP, and Judge will get another one. He's got 2. That sometimes voters do. Flip
And the
a coin
Yankees
like
are
that.
a disappointment right now. So that's also, I think, going to impact the
we've been
perception.
playing a little bit better. Do any of you guys have a vote?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
No.
So I was never. I never qualified to be a baseball writers association because you had to be like tenured a certain amount of time on the beat, and
Isn't
I
it?
think
Wait,
it was like
what
5
is
or
the
10 years or something.
what
I
are the
think
stipulations for a vote? Is it like 10 years covering?
it's
Why not?
it's a certain amount of time covering a beat, and then I don't know if they've cleaned it up, but sometimes that happens, and then you move on to cover other things, and you still keep your vote for years and years and years after, even if
That
you
was
don't
a Hall
cover
of
baseball.
Fame, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Was
some.
that Hall of Fame or was that?
Oh, that
No,
is.
that-
I think
that
I'm
was
thinking
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
They
Okay.
cleaned that up finally and booted a bunch of people out, some of whom Phil pointed out at one time, and caused a lot of dissension.
It's bad, yeah. But
anyway.
Cal Raleigh, let's go get that.
Cal
MVP,
Raleigh
bud.
is he's a great choice.
Yeah.
Go get it.
How did we end the show with Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, it's a positive
That's a big
baseball
dumper.
thing.
Positivity.
These days,
It's not toxic. Yeah, it's not toxic
Joe
at
Ryan
all.
for Cal Raleigh. Who says no?
Would you trade Joe Ryan for
Raleigh.
the Mariners hitting coach? That's the question.
Edgar Martinez? Yeah, I'll take Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
Is Edgar okay? Let's
over.
make. Actually, I would just put Edgar in the lineup at this point.
How about Dan Wilson?
Yeah,
Former
Denver
Gopher.
did a
He's
good job
the
there.
manager,
That's
yeah.
right. Go Gophers.
I want to end this by saying I think the Twins have fine hitting coaches. I think that all hitting coaches are pretty damn good. I really don't think there's like some hitting coach that's far and above better than any other hitting coach. It's just about being a grinder, being there for guys when they need it, being a sounding board, like being there. I think these guys have done that. Most of it lies on the players and being coachable and having like the right mental fortitude. And it's hard to do it.
Baseball is hard is a layer on top of all this too, right? It's hard enough when you have clarity of direction and organization and whatnot. It just makes it harder when you don't have that stuff.
When you can't get out of your own way, it makes it very difficult in life to succeed.
Yeah.
Life lessons.
Life
I could be a life coach for the Twins.
You might be the leader of the Twins in the clubhouse. Just stay in the clubhouse.
I would be a good
I
old
would
school
love
leader
that.
because
Socializing, do your job.
No,
is what Jeb would say.
After games, we're bringing the beers in and we're pounding them, boys.
But
Beers
we're
and
Ubering
pizza.
home. We're Ubering home though. Okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we're Ubering home 100%.
Or limos.
So when Bader left, like Bader stressed that a lot with the Twins. Like he wanted to stay after games and play cards and like have a beer and stuff like that. Like I agree. I think there is I think that does matter. Like creating a cohesiveness, like a bond, like having that, like those days are kind of like on their way out and have been for the last 5 years.
Dude, the Red Sox built
a
sort of a dynasty by doing shots before the games and having red Solo cups in the bullpen. So maybe let's get a little more loosey-goosey.
Those days
Bring
are
John
out.
Lackey in is what I think.
Those days are out until Zolgad arrives, and then they're back in.
That's right.
Back room, loads of beer. It'd be great.
That's all sports though, because I do have my good friend Matthew who says that on his like plane rides home, like he's like sneaking a beverage in, and like nobody, like they're all just kind of like watching a movie on the iPad. Nobody's fraternizing.
Not even the offensive lineman will get into a cold one.
I guess I could go group specific with him, but because I was talking to him about that, like, you know, our plane rides are so different now. And he said same, like from when he got in the league to now, which is 17 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's completely changed. So bring fraternizing back.
That's
Damn
right.
right.
Yep.
Bring
Let's talk about the
fraternizing
game. Let's watch highlights.
This
let's
is how we
tell
fraternize.
crude jokes, and let's have fun.
This is how we fraternize. That's your new TV slogan next year. Hit the like button, subscribe button here on the Score North Twin Show. Trevor Plouffe joins us every Tuesday. Coach Trev, we appreciate you. Go find him on Talking Baseball. You'll also see him, in Kansas City next week on the broadcast, too. Score North Twin Show. We'll be talking at you guys soon.